it's come to my attention that Franco is going to retire at the end of this season. Just kidding, guys.
Bingo. Yeah, he drives F1 half the time. I'm sorry, Franco. You just don't get enough attention.
Well, depends on the fan base. Anyways, what? We have a pretty regularly scheduled F1 video here. This is our Suzuka recap, not any other track. Suzuka. That's what I should have done for April Fools. Anyways.
It's
we'll do
the Grand Prix preview. JK.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. Anyways, it's fine. So we have our new segment that we're doing. We have the last season recap, and then we will go into the news, followed by the actual review of the Grand Prix, and then we'll go into the standings and whatnot before closing out with our leaderboard. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost at 600, so please subscribe. With that being said, the flashbacks. So last season, Ferrari's last win at Suzuka was over 20 years ago, when Michael Schumacher won in 2004. And that statement still holds true. Our next thing, Carlos becomes the second driver ever to have scored points for McLaren, Ferrari, and Williams. And he got on the podium at one point. 2 points? 1 point last season? And then Max has been on the podium every single time he has finished a race at Suzuka since joining Red Bull in 2016. It broke this year. Not great.
It's a rough season, and it's not even been really a season yet. It's just been.
That was great.
That was Indy, my dog.
Oh yes, there she is. Hey, Indy.
I was like, okay. Is this what I'm talking about at the end there? But moving on.
Yeah. To the news.
Okay, so in Spain, the race lost almost 50% of its live audience compared to 2025.
Not good. That's very not good.
And then we have Audi to sign Bearman. Audi's trying to replicate Ellen and OP. So Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, if you guys don't know. Interesting. I like Ollie and Haas though. I'm gonna be so straight.
Me too, but you know, Audi signed Hulk before they became Audi.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how Matteo Binotto, or whatever his name is, likes to go young, as seen with Charles. So we'll have to see. That's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. And then we have drivers pushing for new regulations. I mean, this isn't a shocker. Let's be real here. They've been saying stuff has been happening with the cars, and they haven't done anything. I really think with what's happened lately, something needs to be done. One, because just not with even the crashes, but just driving on the track and then losing power. And just like, you're gaining and then you're just losing whatever you just gained.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. I really think there needs to be changes, but I think everyone thinks that. Also, just I know this is such a rant, but also with just this season, it's been such a downfall. Like even watching the races, you're just like, it's not as good
Yeah,
because
I'm
you.
not disagreeing with that. And I feel like what has happened this past race is kind of forcing the FIA's hand to address it. But we all know that they're not gonna, you know, do a formal report because then that forces them to admit that they were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. Max was saying this season was not going to go great from the beginning, and everyone was like, "You, we don't know, we don't know." He was right.
He was saying that in 2023. I saw a video of
Yeah,
him talking in 2023 about it.
it's just been kind of a downhill since then. Which the 2024 season was pretty good, and then honestly, 2025, like it wasn't a bad season. It had its moments, but this season has just been a letdown. I think for all the teams, like I mean, as that's not saying a lot because Mercedes is actually doing pretty good with this season. They just got really lucky with how to manage the new regulations. But even then, like, I guess we'll talk about it, but like Kimi was struggling at some points. Like, he doesn't do great with starts. And he has trouble with managing the power. And again, like, they could have something happen. So, I don't know. Let's keep moving on before I like spoil the whole race. Um, so Mercedes, like I was saying, has a software bug that was reportedly the cause of a scary crash during the race.
Yeah, not good. The team does plan to address it though before Miami, so hopefully they'll have it ironed out.
Hopefully. And then Ferrari will have a new engine in Montreal. Additional development of great opportunities. This is the ADUO come into effect after Miami. The ADUO gives an engine manufacturers the opportunity to their engine to be reapproved to allow more investment and time for development because for the Ferrari engine is 2% less powerful than the Mercedes.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what
And
happens.
this comes after, I don't remember when we were talking about this, but earlier we were talking about how Ferrari has already developed another engine. So they're gonna use it. Yeah.
And then the big news we're unsure about, but it's the big news, is Max considering retiring. Has a clause in his contract that he has until October to notify the team if he would like to retire. I mean, I'm not a Max Verstappen fan, but as well as he's done over the last years and how competitive he likes to be with racing, I don't know, it's kind of a shocker, but it doesn't surprise me. Just with the way F1's turning out, I think he would go race somewhere else. Just for
Yeah, he's gonna
the
go
heck of
do
it.
endurance racing 100%.
Yeah.
But
Especially
I
after
mean,
we saw him race.
yeah, and not only that, but he does have a young family. If he does endurance racing, he doesn't have to make the commitment that he has to for F1.
No.
So,
He would be interesting. I honestly, if he did it, I would be so happy for him because again, this F1 season has done no one good. I wouldn't blame him one bit. But now to the Japanese Grand Prix. Preview or review. Recap? Sure.
you went through 3 words, but you got there.
It's been a week.
Okay, so FP1, our top 3 was George Russell, Kimi Antonelli, and Lando Norris. We had a collision between Alex Albon and Checo. And then we also had an incident on a push lap where it went 3 wide into turn 1, and Oscar was on the very outside, Pierre was in the middle, and then Charles was on the inside. And boy, that was scary, and I'm glad Oscar didn't crash. So then FP2, our top 3, Oscar, Kimi, George. Arvid Lindblad had a gearbox issue, which prevented him from participating in the whole session. Pierre and Alex almost collide in the beginning of FP2 in the pit lane. And then Charles really started drifting the car through multiple corners during this practice. And then Lando had another issue with the car, and this time it was a hydraulics issue. So, fun times as a Lando Norris fan. And then we have FP3. The top three is Kimi, George, and Charles. Again, yet another issue for Lando and his car. But he is able to partake in the last 20 minutes of free practice. So this leads us into qualifying. So throughout this entire session of qualifying, George was running with some software bug that we have previously mentioned. So out in Q1, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, Checo, Ollie, and Alex. Ollie is the shock name there. He just didn't look put together at all. Q2, the drivers that went out, Carlos, Franco, Liam, Nico, Esteban, and Max getting knocked out by none other than Arvid Lindblad, who qualifies in Q3. He qualifies 10th, followed by Gabby, Isaac, Pierre, Lewis, Lando, Charles, and our top three, Oscar, George, and Kimi, who took pole. So that leads us into the race.
So there's a lot to this. Mostly it's just people back and forth, back and forth. It's like the top 5 people just going back and forth between each other. And if you guys know who I'm talking about, you watch the race. But lap 1, Piastri takes the lead with Charles following and Lando in third. But McLaren's had a great start to this race. I was actually surprised, like really surprised to what a great start they had.
Yeah.
Because, their season so far has not been the best.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised they were even able to start.
I know, honestly. That's why I didn't have them in my lineup, because I'm like, if you guys watched the last video, I did say if I don't say anything, maybe they'll be on the podium.
You did say that, to be fair.
But then we have lap 2, Kimi passes Lewis and takes 5th position, which is crazy that Lewis, like I was saying before earlier, like Kimi starts out great. He does great in qualifying, he does great, but he never starts great in a race. He usually goes back a couple steps, but I mean, he always gets
what happened. He lost 6 positions.
Yeah. But moving on, then we have lap 3, George passes Lando and takes 3rd. And then lap 4, George passes Charles for 2nd. And then lap 8, George passes Oscar for the lead position. Lap 9, Oscar takes that back for lead position and knocks George back into 2nd. Lap 11, we have Kimi takes 4th, passing Lando. And then lap 12, we have lucky that Isaac and Arvid don't have a similar incident to Ollie and to Franco twice. I did see bits and pieces from this. Guys, I'm going to be so straight with you. There was one part of this race where I fell straight to sleep. Just going to be so honest. And part of this, I'm like, I don't remember this happening. But I did wake up before it.
Isaac's radio, which is how I found this out. What? But he was just yelling on the radio about Arvid, and yeah, it just wasn't great.
I mean, I saw like when I did wake up, guys, I was struggling. Okay, again, it's 3 a.m. When I did wake up, I saw there was like something had happened between them, but I was just focused on trying to actually stay awake for the race, so I don't remember what happened. But there you go. And then we have lap 15, Arvid shown black and white flag for track limits because of previous lap. Then we have lap 15 to 16, so like kind of leading after that, we have Kimi up to 3rd, passing Charles, and Charles takes it back, so they just like, per usual for Ferrari. And then lap 17, Lando Norris pits to overtake Charles. Next lap 18, Charles pits, undercuts, doesn't work for McLaren. What a surprise. And then we have lap 19, Oscar pits and knocks him down to 5th. Lap 22, George pits and Gasly up to 3rd, and Oscar back to 4th. Oh, and Kimi in the lead, followed by Lewis. I was typing all over the place. And then I just added, I definitely fell asleep for this part. Yellow flag due to Ollie's crash. Yeah, because I woke up right after the crash because they were yelling. Ollie went into the barriers at 50 Gs. No bad injuries. He did go and get checked out, but he was limping when he got out of the car, which makes me think he could have some bruising, which is going to cause to like he's going to need to be
Yeah,
monitored
I
at
think that
least.
they said it was a contusion with his knee.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah. So prayers up to him. I'm glad he's doing better. I'm glad there was no severe injuries, but that was a rough wreck.
Yeah,
Again,
glad no
like,
broken bones, because that could have been bad.
and the way it was too, you see it from two different perspectives. You can see it from Ollie, but you can see it from Colapinto because he was just driving, and you just see like Ollie like lost control, went into like the grassy area, hit two of the like I think he hit the 50 and the 100 sign just on the side, and went
He hit
straight
all
into the
three.
barriers. That's what I thought. So all three. So he hit all three of the markers and then went straight across. It's lucky Colapinto didn't hit him. Luckily Colapinto slowed down when he
Well,
saw.
no, he was charging up his battery at that spot on the track,
The
and
battery.
Ollie had the
One time.
overtake. So that's kind of what led that to happen because Ollie was going at a higher speed,
Mm-hmm.
a significantly higher speed. And again, the Mercedes software bug affected it. So,
Which we'll bring that up too with them like charging their batteries because it did happen a couple more times where people almost got into their own incidents just because their cars were slowing down. And they did talk about how they think it could be something else too, but I think a lot of it does have to do with them having to recharge after overtaking someone, which isn't good. Like we should just continue to keep our pace. That leads to less incidents. Slowing down in the middle of a high speed race is gonna cause a problem.
and that's how most of the other passes were, like when you said with George and Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Oscar didn't use majority of his battery on the lap before, and then when George passed him, he used up all of his battery.
Yeah, yeah,
Oscar then used what he had remaining to pass George back. So it's
yeah.
not really true racing.
It's not. It's almost like you get a cheat code per person. Like you speed up, you pass someone, but then that other person, as long as they weren't going as fast as you are speeding up, they can still overtake you because now you have to slow down and recharge that battery you used. And that's just like whoever thought this was a good idea, we're not thinking about the repercussions. Or the fact that you're on a high speed racetrack and you're gonna pass someone and then slow down, which then again could either cause them to hit you or another car to hit you, or you can cause someone to have to move and cause them to get into an accident, which is just bad mechanical style in my opinion. Like what the like that's so bad. But moving on before this video gets longer than it needs to be. But then we have lap 23 because of Ollie's wreck, because of the amount of damage it caused, there was a yellow flag, and then a safety car. I think Kimi, Lewis, Fernando, and Gasly all pitted, which then led to Kimi to take the lead, Oscar behind him, and then George in third. And then 27 to 28, we did have the green flag finally happen after all that. Kimi was still in the lead, but Lewis passes George for third. And then we have lap 37. Charles passes George and takes fourth position, and George's car slowing down, oddly. This is, and if you guys are watching it, even like the commentators were like, yo, what just happened? Like, why is he slowing down?
Yes. So it's a different software malfunction. He pressed three buttons at the same time or something similar to that, and that caused the car to so
Yeah. So another reason why these new upgrades and stuff are not great. Like, it's just causing more issues than it is improving. And then we have lap 42, the Ferraris fighting for third. Again, it's always the Ferraris fighting, but I'm not mad about it because they've actually been pretty competitive this season. I think they've had the best, at least passes and overtakes this season because they're just so aggressive with it. But the Ferraris were fighting for third. Charles overtakes Lewis, but Lewis attempts to take it back, but Charles powers through and keeps third. And then we go into lap 43. George takes fourth, passing Lewis, and later Lewis's car locks up. he locked up and went into the grassy area and then had to readjust himself. That's all I remember from it. Go deep into it. Everyone was fine. But lap 48, Lando passes Lewis, gaining 5th position, but Lewis takes it back because these cars are freaking stupid.
It's the mushrooms. It's the mushrooms.
And then lap 51, George takes 3rd, passing Charles. Then Charles takes it back within it's like the smoothest overtake. I was just like, beautiful. I don't know. These races are so boring. Like, even like the most boring overtake is I'm excited for it because it's so boring. No hate to F1. I love F1.
Overtake.
They're not. But I'm just like, you know what? Here's some excitement. Why not? And then we have lap 52. Lando takes 5th. And then lap 53. Kimi wins the Japanese Grand Prix and leads the Drivers' Championship at the age of 19, with Oscar in 2nd and Charles in 3rd. What a race.
Boy, you're telling me. But the results, obviously, we know our race winner, Kimi Antonelli. Oscar in 2nd and Charles in 3rd. 4th was George. 5th, Lando. Lewis was in 6th. Pierre in 7th. Max in 8th. Liam in 9th. And Ocon rounding out the top 10. 11th was Nico, followed by Isaac, Gabby, Arvid, Carlos, Franco, Checo, Fernando in 18th. Bottas, and then Alex. And our 2 DNFs were Lance and Ollie. Obviously, it was Ollie. But I think Lance, actually, they said that there was an issue with his car and they forced him to retire.
Yeah, I remember that happening. I was like, oh, not again. another Aston Martin retiring. It's like,
of course, when is it not? So we have our constructors standings. Mercedes still is on top with 135, followed by Ferrari with 90, McLaren in 3rd with 46. Haas is still in 4th with 18, followed by Alpine and Red Bull, who are tied with 16. Racing Bulls has 14, Audi has 2, Williams has 2, and Cadillac and Aston Martin still have goose eggs. So unfortunate for them. But then Julia, if you want to do the drivers.
Can. So the driver standings, as you guys, as I mentioned before, Kimi is in the lead of the driver standings. He is the youngest driver to be leading, I think, ever, right? Because I think Sebastian Vettel was the other youngest, but he wasn't 19. He was like 20 something.
Right. Kimi's the first teenager.
Yes. So Kimi has 72 points, George is in 2nd with 63, and Charles is in 3rd with 49, followed by Lewis with 41, Lando with 25, Oscar with 21, Ollie with 17, Pierre with 15, Max with 12, Liam with 10, Arvid with 4, Hajar with 4, Gabby with 2, Carlos with 2, Ocon with 1, and Franco with 1. Hulk, Alex, Bottas, Checo, Nando, and Stroll do not have any currently.
Goose eggs.
But not to leaderboard.
So, last week's podium predictions. Julie had Charles, George, Kimi, and then for fun, she threw Ollie on for 4th. I picked George, Kimi, and Ollie. I'm sorry, Ollie. I feel like we might have cursed you this week, so I won't pick you again for a long time. But you know what? I also saw that video of that chick getting in Ollie's car, and I'm blaming it on her. It's not us. It's not us.
We just kind of the cherry on top. I don't know.
But anyways, all that being done and said, no one got a driver in the correct position, so therefore we each got 1 for everyone that we got on the podium. So Julie got 2, I got 1. We're now tied with 15 points each.
Oh, so, yeah. What a way to end the first part of the season waiting for Miami.
Yeah, now we got like an early break.
Yeah. That's so sad. That's the April Fool's, guys. There was supposed to be races. We're just fooled.
There's not. Yeah. Anyways. With that being said, no races in April, so I doubt you'll get any more F1 content for us until our Miami GP preview. So you guys turn on your post notifications so that way you can stay up to date on that. Also subscribe because we will be doing other videos in turn instead of F1, especially the Champions League. Hint, hint, wink, wink, because that is going to play a huge role in our April. Also, don't forget to comment your thoughts on this week's race. How did your podium prediction go? And don't forget to check out the links in the description below for our other social media pages. If you don't know what they are, what are you doing? But anyways, we will be live streaming this month. We will be doing it over the NFL draft. Not the first round. That's when we can make it work. So you can be on the lookout for that as well.